Pawpaw, Sammy, and Ladybug here. Alright, March is here. There's a lot to do in the garden if you're going to stay on top of it. March is the time of the year when you need to sow your plants. Uh, Potatoes, onions, shallots, especially your bare-rooted plants, because they're dominant right now. And it won't be dominant much longer. So they need to go in the ground. Now also, one of my favorite tips is prepare your beds for April and May. If you don't, you're going to wind up with beds full of, especially raised beds, full of grass and weeds. Compost it heavy. And once you get the weeds and grass out of the beds under control, very seldom you have to worry about it. Just keep adding your compost and your grass and weeds are gone. You don't have to weed. Now, eggplants, your peppers, you start them indoors. They kind of a warm weather plant. And before we go any further, let me mention this. I'm in South Louisiana. I could more or less plant anything out there right now and get away with it. Maybe. In your part of the country, what I'm telling you now might come up the next month or a month after that. So always, now your herbs, your dill, oregano, mint, parsley, you name it. Now's the time you want to trim it and divide it. Trim it up, get it looking neat. Divide it, put it in pots, what you don't need, give to your neighbors, sell it at the farmer's market, whatever. Now, I was going to do this video outside, but it's not happy out there right now, and I'm not going out there and get wet. So, now your jobs for March, you rake your beds, your seed beds. You want to get all the rocks and sticks out. You want that real fine soil. You spread your little seeds and just pat them in. They love it. Absolutely love it. Now, you got most of that planting ready to go for next month. Take care of your winter crops, your overwinter crops. You need to, trim them up, clean them out, check them, pick out all the dead leaves, and especially on cabbage. Check for the eggs and your caterpillars. Because them rascals have a habit of overwintering in a mild winter, and they'll be in the heart of that cabbage before you figure out what's going on. You winter, like I said, you fertilize your winter crops and get them set up, and then they'll last a little longer. Now your blackberries, now's the time to prune. Your blackberries and maybe some of your fruit trees needs pruning. Now's the time to do it. Especially, it's time to fertilize and mulch your fruit trees. Now, I don't care what type fertilizer you use. I don't use commercial fertilizers, never have, and don't intend to. But you need worm poop, blood meal, chicken manure. You need something. Now, whatever you got access to is yours. Now also, in March, your pests are starting to come out big time, especially slugs and snails. I'm plagued with them, used to be. You can either bait them up or you use pellets and kill them. Stale beer in a little thin, shallow cup, buried soil level in your garden. Usually the snails will crawl into it because they like that alcohol smell and they'll drown. And just keep it clean and you'll keep right on doing it. Aphids, that's another aggravating crop here in South Louisiana, pest. Especially on your soft fruits and blackberries, they get all over it. You have to stay on top of them. I usually spray a small spray with a very, very, very light, I'm talking about very mild soap and water, real thin. It just coats them and they die. Now, the trick is never spray a fruit tree or a bush when it's in bloom. All you're going to do is kill your pollinators and it definitely will not do you any good. Pollinators makes you feel your crop, your garden. Uh, I have pollinating houses all over my fence, but for the native pollinators. I have beehives in the backyard. Look, I'm firmly believing in pollinators. They'll take care of you if you take care of them. Like and subscribe.